this is Jenny from Just Being Me, and you're listening to the Learning to Love Yourself podcast, the show that inspires you to put yourself first.
Learning to love yourself on the path to happiness. Learning to love yourself on the path to happiness.
Hi everyone, my name's Jenny Field and I'm here on the Learning to Love Yourself podcast, and I'm with the very lovely Liz Bailey today. Liz has been part of my world and quite an integral part of my world for the last 4 years of my life, maybe possibly even 5 now. It just slides by, doesn't it, Liz? Liz, tell everybody a little bit about yourself.
Well, I'm Liz. I'm known as Loops online because I'm basically insane. And I'm the Mind Monkey lady. I came into Jen's world when we were on a MIP meet-up together, and we decided we were looking for accountability buddies, and we joined up and we've spoken every week since.
Indeed.
So yeah, this lady has changed my life, but that's a whole other ball game.
So yes, tell me a bit about yourself and why you needed your self-care. What was the moment where you realised that?
I had
You created Mind Monkeys, because that's
Yeah,
isn't it?
I had a stroke in 2018 because I was basically burnt out. I was burning the candles at both ends. I was doing 2 or 3 craft fairs a week, working full time and running a family. And yeah, you have to give in somewhere. And with me, it came out in a stroke. My Mind Monkeys came about pretty much just prior to that, because I suffered with anxiety and depression for 30 odd years. And somebody introduced me to a book called Train Your Monkey Mind. And it kind of snowballed from there. It was like monkeys, mind, cage, and things just turned over in my head. And the Mind Monkey was born.
And you have created various strategies to cope with your anxiety and depression, because obviously that's a long time to do it. And obviously you hit a stroke, so somewhere along the line there wasn't the self-care going in there. You might have had strategies to cope with your anxiety and depression, but it's a different thing altogether, isn't it, the self-care?
Yes, well, totally. I mean, as much as the Mind Monkey helps me with the anxiety, it didn't help me with the self-care. I basically wasn't taking myself seriously. I thought I was invincible. I was running my business. I was working full time, and I was convinced that I had to just go, because if I sat down, then I'd stop and everything would fall apart. And the thought of self-care hadn't even entered my world at that point. I tell you what, my idea of self-care was sitting down and eating a big packet of crisps, basically.
So when did self-care come into your world then?
After my stroke. My stroke saved my life. My stroke made me realise that A, I wasn't invincible, and B, I had to take my health seriously. And part of that was self-care. I realised that I'm no good to anybody if I don't look after myself first.
Absolutely, absolutely. So what form does your self-care take then? What do you do? What do you call your self-care?
Well, I've got various types of self-care. My main one is my jewellery making. I could sit down with a piece of wire and some beads and I lose myself for a couple of hours. I love to doodle. So I can if I'm sitting in front of the telly, I'll have my little book in front of me and I'll just draw some doodles.
And can I be clear for everybody listening to this, when Liz talks about doodles, these are doodles that we finally persuaded her to make into a colouring book, because they are stunning. And they are going to be amazing for people to colour in for their self-care, because what she's creating, she's very going, oh, I'm doodling, but actually they are so good.
Well, you see, this is another part of self-care, isn't it? It's learning to accept that you are good at something and learning to accept compliments. But yeah, I mean, I'm not one.
That's not been an easy route for you either, is it?
No, it hasn't. And I have to say, you have played a huge part in that. Mm-hmm. For those of you that don't know, Jen has really been, I call her my pocket coach, because she really has been instrumental in me changing my life. But yeah, I'm not a big lover of laying in the bath. I'm not a big lover of face masks. My skincare regime my only skincare regime is washing my face in the morning, and that's with soap. So anybody that runs a makeup company, they scream, they run away from me screaming because I'm like, no, no, no. So self-care to me is very individual, but I've learned since talking to you, Jen, that self-care can be anything that makes you happy.
Absolutely. It doesn't have to be a bubble bath. I don't, for me, I try the bubble bath. I sit in the bubble bath and I lay and I think, well, I'm hot. Okay. I'm hot and wet, and it's just not enjoyable for me. There is no point in me doing that. So, and that's part of this podcast point of view is to show people that self-care is what you need it to be.
Yeah.
And it can be what you need at the time as well, because, something might make you happy at one particular time in your life, but not make you happy at another particular time in your life. It's ever changing. And it's great to try. Your doodling's just come into the world in the last couple of months, isn't it?
Yeah.
You've got something you've done for a long time.
No, totally. I mean, I always thought of self-care, even after my stroke. I thought of self-care as laying down with your feet up, cucumbers on your eyes and a face mask on. And I hated it. And I thought to myself, if that's self-care, I'm not doing it. That's not for me. I don't find that relaxing.
Yeah.
And I'm sure a lot of people do, but it's not for me. And I've learned since having you in my life, talking about self-care is what I do to relax could cause somebody else amazing stress. But for me, it's relaxing. Therefore, it's self-care.
But it's also being conscious about it, isn't it?
Yes. Yeah. I mean, I do my affirmations now, whereas before affirmations was something I'd be like, yeah, right, okay, let's not go there. That's for Hooby Dooby. So we'll do. But doing them has become part of my self-care. It's become, because I know it works. If I do them in the morning, if I say them in the morning, it improves my day. So therefore it is another form of self-care. It's allowing me to have a good day where I wouldn't, if I didn't do them, I wouldn't have that part of a good day.
And knowing you as well as I do, I also know that gratitude is a huge part of your self-care package.
Oh, totally. Totally. I mean, gratitude is so important. I follow your daily gratitudes. I've got a couple of groups where I do daily gratitudes. And it's almost like that reminder to be thankful for something. It could be something really small. Sometimes I struggle. There are days when I think, what am I grateful for today? But you can find something to be grateful for, even if it's just for the fact that you're still breathing.
Exactly. And that is always my thing is the fact that if you've got nothing else that can bring to mind, are you thankful you woke up this morning?
Totally.
Because it's as simple as that. If you are grateful for the fact that you've woken up this morning, your vibration will sit on that gratitude level.
Yes. And having had that major stroke, and it wasn't a little stroke, it was, apparently I'd had 3 or 4 TIAs, like mini strokes, in the few weeks before, and I just thought it was muscle spasm. So having had that serious health event, it really gives you that shock treatment to change things and to take yourself seriously, to take your self-care seriously. I now say no. If I don't want to do something, I say no. I minimize, I do 1 craft fair a week. And if I go out maybe once or twice during the week in the evening, that's my lot. And if I'm tired, I go to bed. I put
about knowing how much your body can take, isn't it? Your body and mind can take. And it's recognizing the signs that actually, because I know myself these days, too many evenings in one week and I'm done.
Yeah.
The weekend doesn't mean anything to me because I'm just done. So I now know that I can't put too many things in the evening. And it's recognizing those signs of going, oh, I'm beginning to feel like this, or, I'm feeling, oh, actually that feeling's coming. I need to make sure that I look after myself. I put daily self-care in, as I know you do, every single day. But sometimes you need to put more in if you begin to feel as though you're flagging.
Oh yeah, definitely. I mean, and you, like you say, you learn to recognize the signs. I know, for instance, a couple of weeks ago, I did 2 craft fairs over a weekend, and I'd had 2 or 3 things I'd done in the evenings. Work was busy, and I came home one day and I thought, I can't think straight. I don't know what I'm going to do. And it makes you stop and think, well, actually, looking back, I've done all of these things and I haven't had a break. So I'm going to sit here now. I'm not going to do anything. and I'm going to cancel any plans that I had. And I'm going to say to the kids, well, I'm sorry that, I'm very lucky. My children are brilliant. They cook and they clean. And
and let's be clear, when we're talking kids here, we are talking children in their 20s, Liz.
Yeah,
They're not 4 and 5.
They're not slave labour. It's okay. We're not into child labour. They're 24 and 28, and they are brilliant. And I think they've learned as well. They've learned from my stroke, especially my younger one. She's learned that she needs to put herself first. And it is all about putting yourself first. You can't, I know you've got a phrase which comes to mind. You can't pour from an empty cup. Mm-hmm. And you have to fill up your own cup before you can help anyone else. And all my life, I've been a people pleaser. I've been the one everybody goes to and the one everybody turns to in a crisis. But who helps the one who helps everybody else? Me. Have to learn to help. Well, yeah, you. Yeah. You now. Yeah. But you do. And you've taught me that, whereas for a long time, I thought you were telling me what to do. You weren't. You were actually reminding me that I knew what to do and I just needed to stop and think about it. So when I say to people, oh, it's all right, I got Jen in my head, it's not voices. I'm not completely losing the plot. It is, I have got a little Jen in my head saying, you know what to do. So I've got a little Jen in my head telling me that, yeah, right, okay, so this has happened. How are you going to react to it? How are you going to deal with it?
Because it is all about your choices. You have to choice.
Totally. And it's not, the world isn't going to end if you say, I can't deal with this right now. I am going to stop and think about it.
Yeah.
People will think you're strange to start with, because I did come up against that when I first started this. When I first started saying to people, well, actually, I'm not going to do that. I'm going to stop and I'm going to think, and then I will answer you. And people were like, well, what do you mean? I want to know now. I need you to deal with it. No, I'm sorry. Put myself first. I need to stop and think. So yeah, I'm not suggesting it's easy. There are times when you think, am I being selfish? But selfish is completely different to self-care.
Selfish is completely different to putting yourself first.
Exactly.
Yeah. Because, well, you know this, Liz. You have to put yourself first to be able to manage anybody else.
Yeah, totally.
So if you are giving yourself enough time so that you can be the best version of yourself, then the other people around you are going to get the best version of you. Other people around you, if you constantly put other people first, are just going to get the worst version of you. And in your case, it ended up with a stroke. And then other people in your world are dealing with that. So, to get the best version of you, you need to put yourself first to make sure that you're filling your cup.
Yes. And while thinking about that, another part of my self-care is Abraham Hicks.
Big believer.
Oh, big believer in Abraham Hicks. Just putting it on, putting your headphones in and just listening. It just puts the world to rights.
And go Google Abraham Hicks, because, I'm a big fan too. But actually, what the reality of that is the fact that you're listening to something that makes sense in your head. Yeah. So find something for you. It doesn't need to be Abraham Hicks, but, we're big believers. But it is about something that's making sense in your head, because one of the reason behind so Liz, you make the mind monkeys in your jewellery business, don't you? And it is literally a monkey on a chain attached to a cage. It could be on a bookmark, it could be on a necklace, a bracelet, or whatever. But what it uses is the brain's distraction techniques. Yeah. Because you have this tiny monkey trying to get into this tiny cage, your brain has to stop thinking about what it's worried about, it's overwhelmed with, it's getting itself into a state with, because it has to think, I need to work out how to get this. Because when you put a small thing into a small place, your brain has to concentrate to do it. And it's distracted from what it's getting worried about.
Yeah.
And that is a lot of my techniques, is going, okay, do you need to worry about this now? Are we overwhelming ourselves with this? Is this something that you need to do? Look at your strategies, look at your choices, move yourself on. My big thing is, I'm getting into a place where I'm feeling uncomfortable. I'm going to go for a walk, because that changes everything.
Fresh air is huge.
So if in Abraham Hicks' world, that would be like start a new segment, change it up, move away, go into a different room, get in the car, do a journey, anything that changes it up. So for you now, you have the space that you will sit down and you will doodle, don't you?
Yes. Oh, totally.
Because it keeps your mind busy.
Yeah, it does. And it's something that you don't have to concentrate on. 'Cause I struggled a lot with conscious self-care because I felt I had to sit and plan and think, right, okay, now I am going to sit and do this. But you don't. Self-care can be 2 minutes in the middle of the day.
Absolutely.
I've learned that. It doesn't have to be, you don't have to sit for an hour and think, right, this is my time for self-care. I am going to sit here. I'm going to look after myself. Because that doesn't work for me. But I can take 5 minutes here, 5 minutes there. I might be working on a doodle for days on end because I might only do a couple of minutes at a time. But those couple of minutes make a difference to my brain at that point. It's just what I need.
The conscious part about it is the fact that you are consciously aware, A, when you need the self-care, and B, what you do for the self-care. So you've consciously noted, okay, this is what's happening. These are my triggers for when I'm not doing well. This is what I need to do. Or you're consciously saying to yourself, okay, my daily routine is this. I need to put this into every day.
Yes.
And it's a conscious process. And that's what
most definitely is. Most definitely.
Liz, it's been amazing to chat to you. You and I can chat forever on this anyway, because we'll just throw it about the room and see what comes up. Thank you ever so much. We will put down below all Liz's details. So if you want to connect with Liz, go check her journey out, because you can see from her social media, you can see where she's been and where she's come to, because the world has changed massively for Liz. It really has. So thank you very much, Liz, and we'll see you all again soon. My fabulous Just Being Me energy tracker for April to June is now available as an ebook for only £3.33. 3 months of energy tracking plus a section for identifying your energies in conjunction with the moon phases, plus my vibrational chart for £3.33. Happy energy tracking. Thanks for listening today. If you'd like to know more, you can find all the links down below. Oh, and don't forget to press subscribe so you can catch the next one. See you soon.